Greetings of the day, dear students. The next topic we are going to discuss in module number 5 of Sanitation Microbiology is air sanitation standards in indoor and outdoor places. This is very important. The quality and standard of indoor air and outdoor air is one of the important aspects of public health microbiology. So you know that indoor air, which is usually applied to the non-industrial indoor environment such as office buildings, public buildings such as schools, hospitals, theaters, restaurants, etc., and in private dwellings also. So the concentration of the contaminant in the indoor air are almost the same order as those commonly found in outdoor air. And there are a lot of parameters that is closely associated the quality of indoor air, whatever we are every day we are experiencing. So much lower than those found in air in industrial premises, where the relatively well-known standards are applied in order to assess the quality of air in the case of indoor air. So something called as IAQ, that is indoor air quality, is very important. That is very essential for the adequate public health microbiological standard for the common good quality living circumstances. And this indoor air quality is known to affect the health, comfort and well-being of the building occupants. The poor air and the quality of poor air has been linked to a disease known as sick building syndrome, which reduced the productivity and impaired learning in schools and colleges. So what are the major causes or symptoms and illness related to the poor quality air in the indoor places are whatever the body parts starting from eyes, respiratory tract, lungs, skin, general areas, all these parts are affected with this due to the poor air quality. In the case of eyes, dryness, itching, stinging and tearing and reddiness, etc. will be a common issues. In the case of upper respiratory tract, especially nose and throat, dryness, itching, stinginess and nasal congestion, nasal drips, sneezing, nosebleeds and throat pains are also very common. In the case of lungs, chest tightness, drowning sensation, wheezing, dry cough and bronchitis, etc. are very well associated with this quality of the air in the indoor area. The skin infections such as reddiness, dryness and general and localized itchiness are very common. The general symptoms and illness such as headache, weakness, drowsiness, lethargy, difficulty in concentrating, irritability, anxiety, nausea, dizziness, etc. is very common. And the hypersensitive circumstances like hypersensitive pneumonitis, humidifier fever, asthma, rhinitis and dermatitis are also very common, that is related with the hypersensitivity issues. Then the infection, that is legionellosis, Pontiac fever, tuberculosis, common cold, flu, etc. are some of the important illness or infection that is due to the poor quality of air. All those infection, the cause root is the air. Then one of the important aspects is known as sickle building syndrome or SBS. So sickle building syndrome, it's a common issue caused by the harmful spores and volatile organic carbon released by the mold in the air or other environmental condition in the building where we reside, such as eye irritation, sore throats, coughing, nausea and vomiting, and headaches, etc. that leads to sickle building syndrome. The major signs and symptoms of these symptoms are sore eyes, then feeling of suffocation, dry sore throat, coughing, then backache, intermittent fatigue, then the headache, agitation and anxiety, dizziness and sleeplessness, then psoriasis, palpitations, nausea, cold sensitivity, numbness, easily fatigued effects, etc. So these are the some type of common symptoms of sickle building syndrome. Then what are the major sources of indoor and outdoor air pollution? So you know that there is a building, you can see the one important aspect is the radiation. Then you will be having the asbestos, okay, from there carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic components, then lead, nitrous oxides, okay, RPM, that is respirable particulate matter, okay, all those things, then microorganisms, okay, then you will be having formaldehyde, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, etc., sulfur dioxide, okay, all those things are very important aspects. So that are the source of indoor and outdoor pollution. Then the major aspects for investigating the indoor and outdoor, especially indoor air quality, are traditional techniques such as industrial hygiene, then the heating, ventilation, air conditioning. These are the traditional techniques, okay. Then in addition to all traditional technique, more advanced aspects or technique are required to ensure there is the quality of indoor air is good. There is more expert aspects in heating, ventilation and air conditioning, and industrial hygiene, specialist in indoor and air quality control, analytical chemistry, toxicology, environmental medicine, more importantly microbiology, epidemiology and psychological aspects are also very important in investigating the indoor air quality. Then the major aspects of indoor air pollution is indoor chemical contaminants. The major chemical pollutants, as we have discussed, that is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide. The organic components that originate from a variety of indoor sources and outdoor sources are very volatile organic components or VVOC, volatile organic component that is VOC, then semi-volatile organic component that is SVOC, organic components associated with a particular matter that is POM. So these are the major organic components. Then the major sources within the buildings are environmental tobacco smoke. This tobacco smoke is one of the major reason inside the building. That is why the smoking is extremely dangerous, and that, I mean, even if people don't smoke, the passive smoking can contribute a lot of problems. The building materials and furnitures which contribute the emission of formaldehyde inside the home. The consumer products and other indoor sources like indoor volatile organic carbon, which include the aerosol products, personal hygiene products, solvents, adhesive and paints that contribute a lot of poisonous components in the indoor air. So these are the contribution from outdoor environment. So the ratio of concentration sulfur dioxide approximately 0.5 gram, typical urban concentration 10 to 20 ppb parts per billion. The nitrogen oxide less than 5 to 12, that is in indoor sources, 10 to 45 parts per BB in the typical urban concentration. Ozone, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, you can see 0.1 to 0.3, then 1 to 10 and less than 5 to 10 is the ratio of concentration in indoor air, and that is approximately for the typical urban concentration is also there. Formaldehyde, that is less than 10, and other organic components like toluene, benzene, meta and paraxylene and other suspended particles. Okay, so these are another important component that is constituting the indoor air pollution. Okay, so here another important aspect is the environmental tobacco smog, that is 0.1 to 0.5 to 0.1, which excluding the environmental tobacco smog, and if it includes, then suspended particle will be 2 to 10%, that is 2 to 10, which includes the tobacco environmental tobacco smoke. And the major indoor air contaminants, the carbon monoxide, that is approximately in the range of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 ppm. Nitrogen oxide concentration in the air is 29 to 46 ppb. Okay, and the major source of radiations are also there. The major source of radiation, you know that is the natural gas that has radiations, the wind and rains. Okay, the water, the air, okay, underground and construction material that contribute a lot of radioactive material, that contribute lot of radons, okay, to the indoor air. There should be biological contaminants. That is where microbiology plays a very vital role. The biological contaminants are mainly in the form of bioaerosol, the living organism that is combined with the dust particles and that is present in the air, such as virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, pollen grains, the animal dangers, the fragments of insects and mites and their excretory products, the volatile organic components from indoor plants and microorganisms, or any of this will be combined with the suitable substances like the dust, microorganism, water vapor droplets, etc., and form bioaerosols. And there should be certain method for evaluating the indoor quality of the air. The major thing is the air sampling. We have discussed the air sampling methods: impingement of liquid, impaction of solid surface, okay, sedimentation, centrifugation, electrostatic precipitation and thermal precipitation we have discussed. There are standards and guidelines for the observed level of microorganism in the air and the dust of non-industrial indoor environments. Or in the category, if it will be considered as very low if the CFU per of bacteria is less than 50 or fungi is less than 25, and fungi as CFU per gram of the dust, that will be this in the air and this in the dust. Okay, so if it is very low, that is less than 10,000. If it is low, less than 100, both the bacteria and virus are 100 if it is considered as low in the case of air, and is less than 20,000, that is in the case of dust. Then intermediate, less than 500 to 500 considers the 500 of either bacteria or fungi considered as intermediate level, but less than 5,000 in the CFU per gram considered as that is in the dust considered as the intermediate. Then high, less than, it is approximately 2,000 bacteria per CFU per meter of the air or fungi. The same case, less than 1,20,000 CFU per gram of the dust, that considered as high. Greater than 2,000, that considered as very high, if either in bacteria or fungi in the form of colony forming unit per meter, or greater than this level, 1,20,000 CFU per gram of the dust, considered as the very high dust. So these are the common standards and guidelines for air quality. Then there are various authorities, they set for the standards and guidelines. One important authority that is known as the Canadian Guide on Official Building Standards. Okay, the Canadian building, that is made in Canada. So the normal air flora should be quantitatively lower than that of outdoor air flora. The major guidelines on office buildings as per the Canadian Guide on Office Buildings are: the normal air flora should be quantitatively lower than that of outdoor air. The presence of one or more fungal species, fungi at significant level in indoor but not outdoor sample is evident of an indoor amplifier. The pathogenic fungi such as Aspergillus fumigatus and Histoplasma and Cryptococcus should not be present in the significant number. That is the next guidelines. The persistence of toxigenic molds such as Stachybotrys, Atra and Aspergillus versicolor in significant number should not be present, and if it is present, it requires adequate investigation and action. The fifth point is more than 50 CFU per meter cube may be of concern if there is only one species present other than certain common outdoor leaf inhabiting fungi, and up to 150 CFU per meter is acceptable if the species present reflect the flora outdoors, and up to 500 CFU per meter cube is acceptable in summer if the outdoor leaf inhabiting fungus are the main components in the air. These are the standards that is as per the guidelines of Canadian Guide on Official Building. Then there are several currently the major existing authorities for the standards are WHO, World Health Organization, the US Environmental Protection Agency or EPA, International Council of Building Research or CIBC, then European Union. All those things are national and international agencies. In addition to that, there are certain private organizations like ASHRAE. Okay, so the very important aspects is European Union. What are the specific directives of European Union? European Commissions are a list of substances to be prescribed or regulated both in the construction and the maintenance of the building. The quality standards that are applicable to the different types of indoor environments should be set. Then the prescriptions for the consideration, construction, management and maintenance of air conditioning and ventilation installations are extremely important as per this directive. The minimum standards for the maintenance of the building that are open to the public are also extremely important. So these are the major specific directives of European Commission in connection with the indoor air qualities that is commonly associated in the building. Then there are standards of air quality, the US Environmental Protection Agencies. So the average concentration of pollutant, that is microgram per meter cube, this is the ppm, and time frame for explosion. Sulfur dioxide, that is 80, this A, B, C are primary standard, secondary standard and maximum value that should not be exceeded more than once in a year, and D is the measured as particle of diameter less than 10 micrometer. So the particulate matter, that is 150. So here it is sulfur dioxide, that is 80, and 1 year this 24 hours and 3 hours, all these values. Particulate matter 150, that is 24 hours. Carbon monoxide, that is 10,000, 8 hours. That is again 1 hour, that is 40,000. And ozone, that is 335, 235, then it's 1 hour. Nitrogen oxide, that is 100, 0.053 per year. Lead 1.5, that is here in 3 months. These are some of the standards prescribed by US Environmental Protection Agency. Then the WHO guidelines, they have the values for some substances in the air based on the common effects on the on human health. That is the organic components such as carbon disulfide, 1,2-dichloroethane, formaldehyde, methylene chloride, styrene, tetrachloroethane, toluene, trichloroethane. All those things, the guideline values are 100 microgram per meter cube, 0.7, 100 microgram, 3 mg, 800 microgram, 5 mg, 8 microgram, 1 mg, etc. So these are the duration of exposure. Most of the things are 24 hours, or this is in formaldehyde, that is half an hour. And this is for inorganic compound like cadmium, carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, lead, manganese, mercury, nitrogen, and nitrogen dioxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, and vanadium, etc. So these are the values 1 to 5 nanograms. All those things are nanograms, either in microgram. Carbon monoxide 100 microgram. Okay, so this is the exposure 15 minutes. Hydrogen sulfide 150 microgram, and that is 24 hours. Lead 0.5 to 1 microgram per meter cube, that is 1 year. Manganese is 1 microgram, 1 hour. This mercury 1 microgram per meter cube, that is 1 hour. Nitrogen oxide 400 microgram per meter cube, that is 1 hour, or 150 microgram, that is for 24 hours. Ozone 150 to 200 microgram within 1 hour. So these are the standard. Sulfur dioxide 500 microgram, 10 minutes. Vanadium 1 microgram in 24 hours. So these are some of the standards. Similarly, the WHO guidelines values for some non-carcinogenic substances in air. Okay, so this is the threshold. Carbon disulfide, that is 200 microgram meter cube, and here hydrogen sulfide 0.2 to 2 microgram per meter cube, styrene 70 microgram per meter cube, tetrachloroethane, that is 8 microgram, toluene 1 microgram. So these are the guide values, and these are the recognition limit. And there are some reference values, that is for radioactive element, that is radon, according to the 3 organizations. Environmental Protection Agency, the concentration is 4 to 20 pci per liter. Okay, so that is the recommendation is reduce the level in years, or 20 to 200, or greater than 20 to 200, that is reduce the level in weeks. Okay, if this is the case, reduce the level in months. This is the case, reduce the level in weeks, or evacuate the occupants. So this is the common guidelines if it is present inside the buildings, that the quality, indoor quality of the building is this much. The European Union, greater than 400, reduce the level, greater than 400, reduce the level, and according to World Health Organization is greater than 100 BQ per ME, reduce the level. If greater than 400, then take immediate action. So these are some of the references set by the European Unions, as well as World Health Organization and Environmental Protection Agency. So that's all, dear students, the air quality standards. So we can conclude once again whatever we have learned in this particular class. We have discussed about the indoor air. What is indoor air? What are the major signs and symptoms of the illness that is related with the poor quality air in the indoor? What do you mean by sickle building syndrome, or SBS? The major signs and symptoms of SBS. What are the sources of indoor and outdoor pollution? How will you investigate the quality of air? Then what are the major indoor chemical contaminants? What are the contributions from the external or outdoor environment? Indoor air contaminations. What are the biological contaminations? How will you evaluate, method of evaluating the indoor air quality? What are the standards and guidelines? The Canadian guidelines, the existing guidelines and standards such as WHO, EPA, and the European Unions, and the standard guidelines for air quality from USPA and WHO guidelines for various circumstances. These are the reference. If you have, these are the reference. So you can refer any of the environmental microbiology textbook. So thank you for watching this particular class, dear students. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you very much. Have a great time.